Hello, everybody, and welcome to Creature Corner, the GDQ Hotfix show that features games primarily featuring non-human protagonists. We have a great lineup of games for you tonight. We've got Sonic Mania, which I have conveniently transformed into a creature for, our titular creature, in fact, because if you haven't seen this before, we are going to actually be running the Amy Rose mod, so that's going to be really fun. Stick around for that. And then we've got Rain World Downpour, the Tactical Ferret, absolutely fantastic run. And finally, we're going to cap it off with Super Ally Ranger, which has never been showed off on the GDQ stage before by Joopy. Those are all some incredible creature feature 2D action platformers. So if you are a 2D action platformer fan, the fun does not stop coming. Let's go ahead and do some Sonic Mania Snowball. This is Amy, NG+, no major glitches.
Hello everyone, my name is Snowball, and I am a Amy Rose speedrunner. If the game's got Amy Rose in it, there's a chance I'm going to speedrun it. This is Sonic Mania, with a fancy little Amy Mania mod made by Troop Sushi and codenamed Gamma that puts playable Amy Rose into the game. I'm going to be doing No Major Glitches New Game Plus, so I'll be starting from the beginning of the game on a completed save file, all the emeralds ready to roll from the get-go, so Super Amy will be on every level except for 2, I think. And I will explain those, obviously, in the run. But with that out of the way, going to give a real quick countdown, and then we are going to be off. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1... Green Hill. How else can you start a Sonic game? So already you're going to see me utilizing a few of Amy's unique tricks in her moveset on this first level. She's got a Helihammer, which pretty much lets her spin around in the air for an extended period of time, gives her more air time, a little bit more aerial movement, as well as a giant hitbox in the air. She can also do a big hammer flip jump. I call it a hammer jump, hammer flip. I bounce back and forth between what I'm calling it, and I crashed into a wall, which is unfortunate. But we are to the first boss. Also, I'm so happy that there's a little thing where you can deactivate the super music, because most of the time we're going to be Super Amy, and the super music does get a bit repetitive. There is actually one spot late in the run where we will get the super music, because every Act 2 of a stage has a little gimmick, and I'll explain how the gimmick changes that music when we get there. But the Act 2 gimmick for Green Hill is these little zipline thingies that, for the most part, I'm going to choose to ignore, because Amy with Speed Shoes and Super Amy and Helihammer Amy is just faster. I'm going to activate Super State now because my Speed Shoes will deactivate before long. And Eggman's going to roll up with the Death Egg robot in the second stage of the game, except the legs don't have a hitbox on them, so if we weren't in Super, we could still just stand in his legs and not take any damage, which is really fun. But Amy's Hammer Flip really helps out a lot with those animal capsules that drift down from the top of the screen. There are a few stages where those will be popping up. I was a little bit worried that I had too much speed there. You can jump at a specific point off of those hills to build up speed, but if you get too much speed, then you'll just crash into those stairs and lose all of it. But that still actually set me up in a good spot to avoid taking damage. Something that I should, one thing about the level design, I commented on the Act 2 gimmicks, but I did not comment on the fact that the Act 1 of the stages are sort of like a mashup of Acts 1 and 2, and in the case of Green Hill, Act 3 as well, from their original games. And then with Act 2, we really get that that sort of Mania-style gimmick. And we actually get a little bit of a teaser for the Act 2 gimmick here with the flubber. But the boss can't really do anything with the flubber because Super Amy is awesome. My throat is catching for some reason. Anyway, big rings. Normally, they would take you to special stages where you can run around and try to collect the Chaos Emeralds. But as this save file already has all 7 emeralds completed, instead of a special stage, getting a big ring will result in the ring counter going up by 50, and you need 50 rings in order to activate Super State. So anytime that there is a big ring that is sort of in a very convenient location, I will probably be opting to pick that up. On the next stage, I'll be doing that again because big rings are useful, and the boss of the next stage is a bit of an auto-scroller. Flubber. I realized that I didn't actually explain the flubber. I commented on it, but I didn't explain it. There are 4 different colors of flubber. There's dark blue, light blue, green, and purple. The dark blue damages Amy and all of the other playable characters. The light blue gives you a little bounce, green gives you a big bounce, and the purple does gimmicky things like all of these sticky things that you will stick to and move around. It's honestly one of my favorite Act 2 gimmick mechanics in Mania. I think that it's super, super cool and creative. And we're going to see a bunch of colors right on over here because of a little rerouting change that I decided to make towards the end of the stage probably about a month or 2 ago. Realizing that in New Game Plus is actually probably faster to just go that way instead of go up by... there's a big ring that I avoided a little bit back that usually you want to go pick up if you don't have all the emeralds. But we've got Puyo, which I'm really bad at, so while I am in Puyo jail, take it away, Satan.
Oh my gosh. Well, first of all, I just want to say this is such a funny part of Mania. I love Mania in that it is just going to take the things you thought you were going to see and not do that. So hello, Puyo. Bean time. And yes, I would absolutely love to tell you all about SGDQ because that is happening super soon. Summer Games Done Quick 2025 will be live from Minneapolis, Minnesota, July 6th to 13th. If you're interested in attending, make sure to register for the event by May 26th. Use !SGDQ in Twitch chat or visit gamesdonequick.com for more info. And not only that, but we have prize submissions open as well. They are open for SGDQ 2025. Visit gamesdonequick.com for more information about how to submit prizes. Prizes make the entire thing go round. So if you've got, maybe a perler of one of those little beans here, or maybe Amy, or something else you would love to submit, we would love to see that.
Yeah! I'm super excited about SGDQ. That's going to be such a cool event.
Oh, yeah. I can't wait. And the schedule drops tomorrow, if you didn't know, chat. So, look alive.
All right, now we are moving on into the first of 4 Mania unique zones with Studiopolis, the zone that actually resulted in this game's creation, which is a fun little bit of trivia. It's, I don't know why Eggman's got a movie, TV, studio type thing, but you know what? Eggman is a very creative individual, so you know what? I'm gonna let him do that. I just wish that he had a bit more creativity with this boss that's coming up, because the boss is not very good. But here's that big ring that is right next to the track that I was talking about during the last stage, that I would be picking up to grab an extra 50 rings, and because this boss is a pretty long auto-scroller, I want to have all the rings that I can get. And that lightning shield I am picking up because it's going to be very useful in the next stage. And that's honestly a great segue into explaining how shields work in this game. So there are 4 different types of shields. There's a regular shield, a lightning shield, a bubble shield, and a fire shield. So regular shield just lets you tank an extra hit of damage. All the shields let you tank an extra hit, but the regular shield has no special attribute. The lightning shield prevents you from taking electricity-based damage, as well as having a ring magnet. The fire shield prevents you from taking damage from fire and lava-based damage, and the bubble shield prevents you from being able to drown. So there's a stage later on where the bubble shield is going to be very, very handy because of that. Also, this is, I believe it only applies to 1 level in the whole game, but the fire shield also prevents you from being able to be frozen in ice. That will be very useful for about half a level and never seen again. But I realize I haven't actually talked about this boss, and honestly, who wants to talk about this boss? 1, 2, 3, top, middle, bottom, top being 1, middle being 2, bottom being 3. That's the order that they come onto the missiles come onto the right side of the screen. The blue missiles we walk into because we're super and it knocks it back at heavy gunner. I hate this fight. Fortunately, we're out of it.
It's over now,
also,
so we don't even need to think about it anymore.
Very true. I needed to cut my speed also before hitting the signpost there, because if you have too much speed when you hit the signpost, it'll do a little twirl up into the air, and you won't get the sort of like end of stage thing happening. I'm stuck in the pit until the signpost like lands back on the ground and is like resting on the ground, and it's very slow if the signpost starts spinning around up in the air. So it's actually faster for speedrun purposes to slow down towards the signpost, so that way it doesn't go flying off into the great beyond. Honestly,
going slow to go fast doesn't sound like a Sonic thing.
Yeah, it's very, very strange. But actually, falling down in that pit earlier at the start of the level meant I was able to pop super slightly earlier, so it kind of balances out. Only kind of. Also, this boss that's coming up is going... God, that's not good. There we go. I've never missed that red spring before. Well, that happened.
What happened? What? Back
to getting
as usual, incredibly
really
impressive gameplay.
Okay, just wanted to focus on that little part because there are so many different objects that you can just bonk into, and that single part of the stage is like this game's casino night, carnival night type of just bumpers everywhere, making your life miserable. So the boss is over.
Oh. Bye, Egghead.
Another one of those stages where it's very, very convenient having Amy's hammer flip. Lets her hit that capsule super, super early. And now we are moving on to one of my personal favorites in the game, Flying Battery. Not Act 1, but Act 2 is sort of where the no major glitches and glitched runs really start to diverge paths a bit, because there's a handful of stages in this game where you can actually skip the boss, and Flying Battery Act 2 is one of them, and it's kind of very technically interesting the way it happens because of just some quirks with level wrapping. I'll get into that a little bit more when we get there, but I am going to switch to the lightning shield now, so that way it's a little bit easier to go on the top coming up, which I do want to have. Also, I'm going to take this next part a little bit slow because these little pendulum things here get magnetized when up to the ceiling when the magnets are turned on. And they drop back down when the magnets turn off. And it's very easy to time things wrong and get crushed. And if you get crushed, then that's really bad because that is an immense amount of time loss, because you either have to go through the rest of the stage without super, which is very sluggish and clunky, or you have to restart the level over a minute in. So I got crushed once and decided never again am I risking that. So, oh come on. Hammer flipped a little too fast and ended up going through the mini-boss while it still had iframes active. Alright,
again,
Act 2.
Too fast to go fast.
Yep. That is Sonic's MO, and Amy is taking after him quite a bit right now. But Act 2, gimmick, these piles of trash, I guess. You can sink through them, and that's, honestly, I feel like it's very fitting for, like, Flying Battery thematically. Ooh. I missed that little zipline hanger thing, and missing that one's actually a little bit scary, because down inside that part of the ship, there are 2 mines directly underneath where the hanger rests by default. And, so, funny story, if both of those mines blow up, a hole will open up in the floor. And that hole in the floor just drops you into the sky and you die. Do not ask why I know this.
I'll just assume you intuited it. It's fine.
Yeah. Now we're coming on up to the... okay, that was very unlucky. I have never ricocheted like that before. Usually what happens when you bounce off of one of the mines or enemies here, you usually have enough speed... Oh, I'm not... There are spikes there, apparently. You usually have enough speed to compensate and get back to where you were hanging off of the pole from. However, that's not always apparently how it works. So I guess I don't even know what happened there.
It's just a that's never happened before thing. And you know, marathons.
Yeah, I guess I've gotta try to do this fight normally, because Amy's default speed is not enough to try to go for the quick kill, which is unfortunate because this boss is horrible without super. Amy, why did you have to fall in a hole?
She just wanted us to see this this backup that you're doing. You know?
It's just a fight, but worse.
I don't know, maybe she's hungry? Get her a snack? Just throwing things out there.
She is getting no treats for this flying battery.
No treats for this hedgehog. She's got to stay
all right,
super
Amy,
for longer.
you want treats after the run? You've gotta redeem yourself. All right. Second Mania unique zone, Press Garden. Now we're in Eggman's newspaper printing factory. Eggman just wants to take over all of media and film in this game, I guess. Yet another big ring. I'm realizing most of the big rings that you go off the track for are in like the first half of the game. There's maybe one in the back half. Also, that's really oh my god. Amy, you are not getting any treats, girl. What is this? I knew I shouldn't have been practicing in the setup room. I was playing very well in the setup room, and I was like, ah, great.
Aww,
I'm getting all of the really good play out of my system now. Because that's, I guess, how it works, question mark. I realize that Amy going on a sky exploration expedition made me realize I never actually explained that boss skip that was on Flying Battery Act 2. Also, let's go. That skip is really hard, so I'm glad that I got that.
Nice.
One treat, Amy. One treat for you.
One treat for Amy. Okay. We'll count them up.
Yeah, hopefully that counter will go up a bit more as we go on. Also, that was a little skip towards the end there that I was wondering if it would work. Jumping off of that ramp early and landing on the next ramp instead of going all the way down the first one and then up onto the second. Glad that worked.
That didn't look like physics.
We're about to have moonwalking, Amy, while I finally explain a really cool quirk about Flying Battery Act 2 boss skip, which we're not doing in this run. So when I jumped on the red spring towards the end of the stage, that took me back into the ship when I was outside in that last stormy section. You can jump off of that early before going back into the ship and helihammer, loop around, and it's okay. Oh, I'm so not used to actually having to deal with those spikes. I didn't know how to deal with them. Oh no. Anyway, helihammering in that spot effectively screen wraps to the end of the boss where the animal capsule is. Because even though it looked like we were going up during that boss fight, that was an illusion. The hammer jump. The end of the level was actually below us at that point. So by looping around, you end up below that part of the stage and below the boss, but above the boss. It's a little bit confusing, but it's really, really cool. The reason why I sort of stuck to no major glitches and never bothered to learn that is there's a very, very small frame window where the helihammer will reach the end, and if you get it wrong, then you are soft locked because the screen will lock in place before you can actually drop down to where the animal capsule is, because you land on a platform that's still above it. That's actually above like the animal capsule and cutscene that I skipped that was at the end of the stage. That does have a little ending that you can drop down off of. You do have to be careful though, because in that cutscene, Amy rides a hang glider down to Press Garden. Yeah, Press Garden. I was about to say Press Factory. This is not Sonic Superstars. But if you grab the hang glider when you're not in the cutscene, then the game does like full-on soft lock. So it's a little bit frightening on multiple accounts. But enough about that. We're going to Sonic CD. We are going to the past for Stardust Speedway. Stardust Speedway, Act 1, is by far my worst level in the game, so let's see how this goes. This is going very well. As soon as I pop Super,
I was gonna say, you look
fine.
like it's been going really fast so far.
It's probably actually faster to just launch out of that one Bumper. I don't want to be up here. I'm going the slow way. I tried to cut my speed and drop into the last of those tunnels because that's the one that goes straight across and straight to the boss. Didn't cut my speed in an accurate fashion. But now we got Big Firefly. Now we have no Firefly.
Oh,
and now we are going to be going to the future, returning to the present for Act 2. There is a whole cutscene that plays that's got one of the Sonic CD time travel signposts. At least I think that's what happens in the cutscene. I'm gonna be honest, it's been so long since I've seen it that I don't even fully remember. I think that there's one of the time travel signposts, which is a cool little touch. Now this stage, I do have to be a little bit careful on because I don't want to pop super actually until I get to the boss. Because this boss is a 3-phase boss fight. And has probably my third favorite piece of music in this game is the Stardust Speedway Act 2 boss. Only after the final stage's music and the final boss's music. People always say that the rivalry that started back in Sonic CD was Sonic and Metal Sonic. I disagree. This is the real rivalry that started back then. Good old Amy and Metal Sonic, the two characters introduced in Sonic CD. Now they're going to beat each other up. Well, Metal Sonic is going to try desperately to beat up Amy, and it is going to fail miserably because Amy is coming at him with the powers of a goddess right now. My gameplay is probably not going to be that of a goddess for this phase because I'm not good at getting the quick kill. And also, Metal Sonic's attack pattern right now is not ideal for the quick kill. Dang. So, what I was going for there is these balls of energy that pop out of the Silver Sonics and hit Metal Sonic's container, whatever you want to call that, deal 1 hit point of damage. If you knock the Silver Sonic back when it's in the Spin Dash ball, it deals 2 hit points. So it's actually significantly faster to knock 3, well, honestly, any of the spin dashing Silver Sonics back, but I'm not exactly the greatest at aiming that. But now we've got a cool little callback to Knuckles Chaotix with Metal Sonic Kai, and this fight's a little bit scary when you don't have super because the floor is falling away and also he's huge and shoots fireballs. We didn't get to see the whole... Actually, no, not fireballs. He shoots bombs. Effectively the same thing in this scenario. We didn't get to see that, though, because Amy can just walk into him and the fight's over. This zone, the zone with the age-old war of... How do you pronounce the name?
Are we going to do it, chat? Is it Hydrocity or Hydrocity? Or something entirely different? You decide.
I personally prefer to call it Hydro City just because I find that easier to say. My sister likes to call it Hydro Kitty.
Oh, that's cute. I think as the host of Creature Corner, I'll endorse that option.
Fair enough.
I never considered that. My world has been expanded today.
Okay, so this is one of the stages with the bubble shield. I wanted to pop super after I got the bubble shield just because that's honestly the most convenient spot for me to do that. Wait. Okay. I'm gonna be honest, every once in a while, I forget which lever it is that opens up that tunnel. And tonight was one of those nights where I forgot which lever it was that opened up that tunnel, fortunately. I guessed right, because the other one drains the water, which would not have been ideal.
Indeed.
Now we've got a boss fight. This is certainly a boss fight. The first part is kind of annoying and tedious because it's just an auto-scroller. Eggman blows up a couple columns, and it's one of those don't get crushed by the rising floor, ceiling, whatever's going on here. The actual boss fight part of it, though, is really cool. It's sort of a reverse callback to the Hydro City Act 2 fight from 3 and Knuckles, where Hydro City originated. This time we're in the Eggmobile. Eggman never seems to think these things through, and leaving his car unattended when there are hedgehogs and foxes and echidnas and armadillos and flying squirrels that want to beat him up, not exactly the greatest strategy. Now we're moving on to Act 2. Very special stage to me, as this was the first stage of any Sonic game that I learned how to speedrun. I will say, I am very fortunate being a New Game Plus, or just Emeralds in general, Amy Rose speedrunner, because if you run Amy Rose no Emeralds, this stage is monstrously difficult to get through in any sort of quick manner. Also, it's fine that I lost the bubble shield there because there will be another one later. It is a little bit dangerous to go for that hammer flip that I went for, but it's cool when it goes perfectly smoothly, which it very much did not, but I wanted to try it. And it is also fine because coming up right on over here, I will be going super again. So this part of the stage is sort of broken up into... Oh, back up to the top we go. Sort of broken up into 2 figure 8s or infinities or whatever. Oh, come on, Amy. I guess Amy was like, it's hard even with the emeralds. Get up there. Thank you. So you have to hit, I think it's like you have to hit a certain spot on the slide over there for it to like activate the surface. Her heli hammer lets her skip a tremendous amount of the stage. I want that. Normally you have to go from top left to bottom right to top right to bottom left. Amy, can you please? Thank you. The treat counter for Amy Rose is back down to 0. I don't know what's going on tonight.
She was not hungry, I suppose.
Yeah, fortunately, that was not as costly as the getting thrown into the hole on Flying Battery. But this is another one of those Eggman machines that I just question why he thought it was a good idea. Because, to be fair, if Amy or anyone he's fighting didn't have the emeralds, they wouldn't be able to also act as a mine. But why are you driving a mech that can only be damaged by mines and then put mines in the water that your enemy can detonate? I don't understand it. But the one cutscene we can't skip. So I wanted to jump on an invisible piece of geometry on the right side of the whole half-pipe thing. Didn't quite get high enough, but still got a lot of distance because Amy has to walk down that hallway and out to the next stage. So that jet of water will... or Amy will slide down the quarter pipe on the right side and be close enough to the left side quarter pipe that the jet of water will shoot her up it a bit and give her a lot of speed towards the end of the hallway before she would start moving normally. Plain level. I got nothing. Satan, take it away.
Well, first I want to just point out, thank you for all of the answers in chat to the Hydro City versus Hydrocity versus Hydro Kitty debate. Everybody has fantastic opinions, but it does seem like Hydro Kitty is winning the audience over, unsurprisingly. Second of all, I just wanted to reflect a little bit on this mod in general and how adorable it is. Amy's animations are all so fantastic, and I've just been staring at the screen counting all of the different ones that we've been seeing through this entire thing. And her moveset's super cool. So thank you for bringing this game onto the show. I really love games that sort of bring this community aspect to light, and I really love showing off mods that just make the game different and interesting and cool in some way or another. And yeah, also, if you're enjoying GDQ Hotfix, which I hope you are, and are curious about what's coming up on Hotfix, you can check out this week's schedule and explore our full season lineup at gdq.gg/hotfix, because there is a lot more fun stuff coming up on Hotfix all the time. If you like community stuff, we have a whole show dedicated to community-made games, community-made mods, stuff like that. It's called Parallel Universe. We have all sorts of other amazing things, and you can even join our Discord to chat with us as well. Looking to get more involved in the GDQ community? You can join the official Games Done Quick Discord and add the Hotfix role to stay in the loop on upcoming events, chat with staff, and more. Use !Discord and Twitch chat for an invite and more information. Whew, that was a lot of talking. I see a hedgehog getting shot out of a gun. How are we doing?
Yeah, we're at the boss. A little bit of RNG dependent on the boss, and also a bit dependent on can I time my jumps right. Going off the screen, that's not ideal because you can only get 2 hits and I still only got 1. And he's jumping from off the screen.
Centipede thing does not get treats either.
No treats for this guy.
Not for this guy.
There we go.
Get out of here.
Okay, so Mirage Saloon, Act 1, over. Yeah, it can't be a 2D Sonic game, I guess, without a plane level or something of the like. That is not true, but it's just still a very funny statement. Now we have an actual level coming up.
Hooray, we get to play!
Mirage Saloon Act 2. This is a very cozy level for me because I always feel like I'm forgetting the route, and that's honestly okay on this stage because pretty much all of the routes are just about as fast. It's a very... Amy, I said no treats. Get off the ice cream booth stools.
She's like, if you aren't gonna give me treats, I'm gonna go get them.
Also, this stage is the game's a reminder to everyone in chat to stay hydrated because there are little water spray cans throughout the stage that let Amy run on water because she's just that fast.
He's so cool.
Okay, so bottom row, I go up. There we go. I had to remind myself where I was. Now we have the third of the hard-boiled heavies, Heavy Magician, and she is going to do a little cool callback to some classic era Sonic characters. We've got Fang, we've got Bean, and we've got Bark. For the Fang and Bean phases, I'm going to hit her once and then knock her out of the illusion form again and then hit twice because any time where you hit her, or any time you've gotten 2 hits on one illusion's phase, she'll go back in the box. So you can actually speed it up by getting 3 hits on the Fang and Bean phases and skip a cycle, which is very, very handy. And I was just hitting the B button because where the B button is on an Xbox controller is where the A button is on a Switch Pro controller, and I've been playing a lot of Switch games recently. Most notably New Pokemon Snap, because that game is very cool. But anyway, Big Ring, right on the path. Oil Ocean, I really like this stage, and I don't think that that's a popular take on the matter. I have a lot of nostalgia for when Baby Snowball was playing Sonic 2 with my sister and dad when I was like 3. And Oil Ocean was one of the stages that like really stuck with me. So I am very, very happy to see it pop back up in Mania. But for Act 1, we are going to be running through the oil rig as quickly as possible so we can go beat up Bob the Builder. That... I don't know why. It's just the way the world works, I guess, in the wonderful world of Sonic. I love that hammer flip. That's legitimately one of my favorite hammer flips in the game. It's just so smooth and so satisfying to hit. And now we have one of my favorite Act 2 gimmicks because it reminds me a lot in a way of probably my favorite zone in any 2D Sonic game, which is Sandopolis from Sonic & Knuckles. What do I mean by it's very similar? The gimmick of this stage is this smog. After a while, the smog will start draining my rings as if I was in Super State, but of course, without the Super State. Invincibility, increased speed, increased jump height, yada yada yada. These hanging switches from various ceilings, however, will cause the fog to dissipate. These are the same types of switches that turn the lights back on in Sandopolis Act 2, and when the lights turn back on that stage, that's when the ghosts get chased away, and the ghosts, after a while, will start constantly trying to attack you. Very similar to how the smog will constantly attack you if you don't shut it off. Now I don't really have to worry about that because Super State is really awesome. And also, very satisfying heli hammer slash hammer flips slash Amy's movement in this game is absolutely awesome. That's definitely my favorite heli hammer in the game. The spin dash off the elevator as like early as possible into the heli hammer lets you fly over the hatch of the submarine. You want to avoid falling into the submarines because these submarines have extra little bits of stage in them that you have to play through to get out of the submarine, and it doesn't actually take you really any further in the level. It's just time lost to go in the submarine. So heli hammering over the submarine is very convenient, and I'm usually not able to heli hammer off the last hit onto the ending platform, so I'll take that. Whew. This run's going by quick. We've only got 3 zones left. Lava Reef. One of my favorites that like stands with like Sandopolis, Oil Ocean, probably Speed Jungle from Sonic Superstars. Like my like elite 4 of Sonic zones probably would be Lava Reef, Sandopolis, Oil Ocean, and Speed Jungle. They're just so good. This is a very long stage, and really one of the only times we go off the main track to get rings, because a lot of rings early, meaning early Super State, meaning really, really elevated speed very early on a very long, just sort of platforming level. That's honestly a little bit clunky. There are lots of rocks and whatnot that try to mess up your rhythm and momentum. I will say the Mania version of Act 1 is a little bit kinder than the Sonic & Knuckles version. Mainly because right at the end of the stage in Sonic & Knuckles, there's a very low ceiling sort of corridor that has one of those big spiky elevator things with the jets on it in the very low ceiling corridor. So it's really easy if you're not prepared for it to just get crushed by it when it slams down. Fortunately, that's not here in Mania, so one less very obnoxious hazard that Eggman decided to put in the stage that Amy won't have to worry about. Also, this stage is really, really pretty. The background is absolutely amazing. One of my favorites in all of Sonic. Act 2 is going to look even prettier because I'm going to be showing off a little cool visual glitch thingy that
I didn't even know we were seeing any glitches today.
It's not a major glitch. It doesn't actually change the gameplay at all. It just is for flashy style. For anyone who's not seen Lights Out Lava Reef, you're in for a treat. Act 2 is sort of like a real sparkly crystal cave type deal. And if you shut the lights off, the crystals are still sparkling. I'm going to not skip this cutscene immediately. I said that and then almost autopiloted into skipping the cutscene immediately. Lights are off, crystals and lava are shining.
Whoa, that's beautiful.
So pretty much, if you input to skip the cutscene, like right as the lights start turning back on in the little cutscene transition, the light level will stay at whatever it was when you made the input to skip the cutscene. It's really, really cool, really, really pretty. Always just... It's become a thing that, like, whenever I get this run into marathons, I'm like, I'm gonna submit an incentive for this because it is such a cool showcase. I really, really like it a lot. I have been told that there's actually a lights out glitch for the final stage of the game. Unfortunate. But the frame window for activating it is ridiculously tight to the point where I've never actually gotten it to work. And honestly, it's kind of scary to think about even going for it because the final stage is a spectacle on many fronts. Let's just put it like that. So also, main reason why I ended up jumping into that jet of fire when I got hit earlier, for some reason the hammer flip has iframes on part of it, and you can time it right where you can just flip through the jet of fire without taking damage. I unfortunately did not time it right. So unfortunately the lights will be turning on in just a moment because there's like a little cutscene transition thing here to get to the boss, and it turns the lights back on, sadly. Now we have the most annoying of the four hard-boiled heavies. That may sound like a shock, given the fight with Heavy Gunner back in Studiopolis, but Heavy Rider is somehow the most annoying of the four. Well, I say four, there is a fifth hard-boiled heavy, but we're not going to be fighting him because I think only Sonic can fight him.
Sonic the Fighter. Singular.
The Egg Reverie Zone, I think it's called. I've not actually beaten this game with Sonic.
Oh, wow.
Oops. I kind of have a one-track mind when it comes to speedrunning Sonic games, and that is Amy. speaking of Amy, we are going back to her origin game with one more Sonic CD level, Metallic Madness. This is a big-time take the top route at all costs. Falling down on this stage is pretty catastrophic for your time. It's not as you have to absolutely reset the stage as Hydro City Act 2. It's close though. The gimmick of this stage is the sort of background foreground. You can sort of see there's a bit of stage in the background there. We're only going to do that once towards the end of the level because it's just faster to ignore it. I'm also not going to activate Super on this stage because this stage has the one, even though it's a Sonic CD stage, it has the one returning boss from Sonic 1 with the finale, or final zone. It should be called finale zone in my opinion because that just sounds more epic. Amy, we're bashing our head on a platform. There we go. That one was more on me, so that does not get taken out of the treat counter. Final zone boss. Anyway, it's got some quality of life fixes in this game, but it's very easy with Super State's increased speed and slidiness to slide under one of these pistons while it's firing and get crushed, and it just saves a headache to not activate Super State. Also, this fight is the learn how to count to 4 with Amy Rose and Snowball SMB, because now there's a second phase. Also, both phases take 4 hits. I went on the wrong side of Eggman. So the second phase is sort of like a desperation mode. So now we are going to count to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So every 4 piston fires on the second phase, Eggman will appear, and it takes 4 hits to beat him. That should have been Metallic Madness Act 4, but there are only 2 acts, so oh well. We are tragically going to be getting the Super State music on this stage. And I say tragically not because it's a bad piece of music. I think that it's a perfectly fine piece of music, but it interrupts the stage's music right as Eggman goes into a killer saxophone solo. So we are unfortunately not going to get to hear Eggman shred on the saxophone, which is very sad. But the trade-off is we get to admire the adorableness of Chibi Amy as she runs through whatever this machine is.
Something. An Eggman project, as they all are.
Yeah, I guess. I guess that is one thing that we could call this. But the gimmick of Act 2 for Metallic Madness is these red and blue lasers. The red lasers make Amy nice and small, and the blue lasers make her big again. Also, I did not know that you could go in that scoop and not just automatically snap to that one wheel. Learned another thing to be careful of, I guess. What am I going to hit this cycle at? I guess an okay part of the cycle. Could have been a lot worse. And now we are going to get our second our second boss that references a classic era Sonic character, Honey the Cat. Because these little capsules have the Emerald Hill from Sonic 2 mini boss, or small version of the boss, Marble Zone from Sonic 1, and also little dolls of Honey the Cat. If you play as any other character, it's little Amy dolls, but when you play as Amy, the the mod puts in little honey dolls, and I think it's super, super cute. I really, really wish that Seiko would bring Honey the cat back. She's got one of my absolute favorite designs in the entire franchise. And, hey, Sonic Rumble devs, if you somehow see this run, please put Honey the cat in the game. I'm begging you. Please and thank you. Now, moving on to the final zone of Sonic Mania, and the fourth and final of the Mania original zones, Titanic Monarch, and probably my personal favorite for a game-ending zone in all of 2D Sonic. My one complaint about it is the fact that the final boss wasn't the Titanic Monarch itself, because flying around this absolutely colossal version of the Death Egg robot on a scale that is unthinkably huge as Super Amy, or in the base game, you know, Super Sonic or Super Tails or Super Knuckles or Super Mighty or Super Ray. Anyway, flying around as one of the super characters fighting this monstrously huge robot would have been so, so cool. But the boss fight is, at the end, still is very, very cool, as it really utilizes, we won't be seeing it much, but it utilizes in a very cool way the Phantom Ruby, which is the sort of thing that's scrambling zones up a bit and also teleporting us around in certain cutscenes that I've also been skipping. The little, whoa, I almost got killed. The little rock back in, I got killed anyway. The rock in Stardust Speedway, the Metal Sonic grew huge with. All right, fine game. You're done cutting me off. I don't care. Also, another thing about the Phantom Ruby is it's the little fancy thing that Infinite from Sonic Forces gains his power from. There are spikes on that ceiling? You see, normally I don't have to worry about this because normally I don't get crush killed. I don't know why, it's like the more I play that corridor, the more likely I am to get crush killed. I don't understand why. Also, I'm gonna just grab a ring there because I don't know where the rings start showing up, and there are these little electric gates that I'm normally super for and don't have to worry about. Thanks, spikes. Anyway, we're almost done with this level. Damage boost, because why not? There is a ring monitor that, oh, Amy's going to actually go like super fast and just avoid, that's fine. Okay, we're going this way, I guess. Okay, so there's a really difficult thing that you can do with that quarter pipe, where if you have enough speed, you... Whoa. Don't get crush killed again, Amy, please, and thank you. There we go. If you have enough speed, you can run up the quarter pipe in a way where you land on the top set of springs. It's really hard to get right, even with Super State, and without it, I don't think Amy can actually do it. Now we got Crimson Eye. Gonna be a very damage boost heavy stage because I'm not in Super. Also, I am not going to try for Lights Out Titanic Monarch Act 2 because I don't think I can get that. And also, even if I could, I'm not confident in being able to get through it because it is, this stage is hard. Titanic Monarch Act 2 is like 4.5 minutes on a spectacular run, 5 minutes on a good run, give or take. It's long and very perilous. There are a few spots that crush kills can happen, and I'm a little bit worried about that after getting crush killed in the last stage. There are 5 rooms. There's that first room, and then there are 4 off of this sort of central area. There's bottom left, top right, bottom right. And I'm going to be doing the bottom left first because each of these rooms has a sort of like secret exit And the secret exits have various monitors that have some rings and a various type of shield. And the bottom left secret exit has a lightning shield, which has that very, very handy dandy ring magnet effect, which on a stage this long, you definitely want for as much of it as possible. Also, this has some of the greatest Sonic music, not just 2D Sonic. I legitimately think that this stage is one of the best pieces of Sonic music out there. And the final boss at the end of this stage follows suit very, very nicely. Also, the boss fight is going to be breaking the usual mold of 8 hits on an Eggman mech. This one's going to be 16. But we still have a lot of stage left to get through before we make it there. Okay. For some reason, I thought that I was coming to the end of a different room, even though I know which room I'm in. Top right we go. This is the shortest of them by a pretty significant amount. Also, I should be in the clear now. I think I have escaped all of the potential crush kill spots. Going to use this bubble to just fly up to that red spring instead of going to the left side of the screen, jumping into a car with one of the crash test dummy robots, and then going all the way over to the right. It just saves a little bit. And when I say a little bit, I mean a little bit of stage. That's one of the smallest skips in the game that I actually land. I am going to focus a little bit because there's one spot coming up that I want to get right. Yes, there we go. Timing those hammer flips right is a little bit tricky, and also on the sort of top area where I ran up that slope, crashed into a wall, and then jumped over the wall. I was fortunately able to move fast enough to collide with the wall because there is one of those hidden red spring bumpers that comes out of the floor right over there that can launch you off that platform. So timing is a little bit precarious there. But time is going to be coming up at the end of this fight after I get the 16th hit. All right, got 5. And then I should be able to get 5 more when the shield goes down here. And then it's going to be 4 and then 4 after, paying a visit once again to Heavy Gunner. So before hard-boiled heavies that are fought earlier in the game show up in little rooms during this fight that the Eggman uses the Phantom Ruby to transport you to, fortunately, we only have to deal with one of them. I say fortunately because Heavy Shinobi's the second one, and his room is awful. It's significantly easier with Super State, but that was menacing on my casual playthrough, and that's time.
GG. Fantastic.
All right, you know what, Amy? I guess you can get some treats. The end of the run went fine enough. And hey, there's Sonic. He's going to drive the car. And one last really cool thing about this mod, the final cutscene is edited to include Amy in it. I do need to get, there's another mod that's sort of is a follow-up mod to this one, just to sort of pretty up the cutscene a little bit to make it look even better. But I love the fact that Amy gets included in the cutscene all the same.
Cute. I love that too.
That was Amy Mania, New Game Plus. No major glitches. I'm all around pretty pleased with how that run went, especially having to fight 2 of the bosses without Super State that I normally have Super State for. Few real quick shout-outs. Shout-outs to the classic Sonic speedrunning community for being very welcoming and very supportive. shout out to all of my friends over at Fast Paced Events, FPE, for being super, super nice and just giving me so many chances to do super cool things. Shout outs once again to Troop Sushi and Codename Gamma for creating the Amy Mania mod. It plays so well. Like, it feels like a legit base game feature. Even though it's a community-made mod, it is so polished. And shout-outs to GDQ and Zane herself for having me on to show off this super fun run. Shameless plug, you can find me on Twitch, on YouTube, and on Blue Sky at Snowball SMB. And one last shameless plug, I will be at SGDQ 2025 running Lena's Inception, Perfect Ending Blind Seated. I'm so over the moon that I'm gonna be able to show off Lena's Inception on the huge stage. So thank you so much to GDQ for accepting that run and for having me on today. Amy Rose is awesome. That's all from me.
Couldn't agree more. You did an incredible job rolling with the punches there, and giving us a fantastic run. That was a joy to watch, and I cannot wait to see you at SGDQ as well. So many fantastic runners gonna be there. And as we set up for our next game and go to the break, I want to thank everyone for supporting GDQ Hotfix with your subs, Prime Gaming subs, gift subs, and bits. Your contributions help keep our shows running. If you're enjoying the stream, consider subscribing for exclusive videos, ad reviewing, and access to... Hello everyone, and welcome back to Creature Corner, the GDQ Hotfix show that features games with non-human player characters or protagonists. And we are back with another fantastic, bombastic 2D action platformer, Rain World Downpour Rivulet Story Percent by Tactical Ferret. Let's go ahead and do it.
Hello, I'm Tactical Ferret. I'm a Rain World speedrunner. With me is Ice. They'll be helping me with commentary. But yes, if you've not played this game before, Rain World is a survival platformer. It also is kind of a mix of a environmental simulator. But yes, in this game, there are several different paths, different regions you can go to, so many different characters and stories to play. Today, we'll be doing Rivulet's story. And so we'll be doing their story. And pretty much what that consists of is, at first, we have to go and search for a very important item. This item is like a very powerful battery. Imagine like a nuclear reactor squeezed down into a sphere, and we're going to try to take it out of this facility, move it to a whole other facility, and then once we've done that, we end the game by talking to pretty much in a sense, the facility owner. Don't worry, it'll make more sense as we're there, but yes. Yeah, I'm ready to rock. The timer will begin when this circle fills up, so if you two want to say anything real quick.
Nothing that I can think of right now, but thank you all for watching this run by Tactical Ferret. This run's going to be really good. What Tactical Ferret does in this run is very impressive, and we'll talk about what's different from how other people run this category as well as we go through it.
Yeah, I'm super excited. Let's get to it.
Awesome. All right, let's get started. 3, 2, 1. All right, so first we're going to get started with our character, the introduction to our character. Take a little bit of time. We're going to hear a nice little explosion, and then our character's going to drop on in. Let's see, just one sec. Not that. That's a dead body. Here we are. So this is the Rivulet. They are a slug cat. The slug cats are the main characters for these games. They come in several different varieties. Ours is the water one, able to swim super fast, can hold their breath underwater for a long period of time, though they still can drown. But they also function super well above land. They're able to move faster than all the other slug cats. They can jump really far. But yes, they're the perfect character for a speedrun. But so for this first part of the game, we're going to be making our way to a shelter. And so the general gist of this game is that you go from one shelter to the next, and you have a certain amount of time to do so. And so in this time, you have to go find food, which is what I'm eating right now. Avoid predators. Oh, that's a fun friend there. and then make it to a new shelter before the time's up. And if you do not make it, the rain will come and the rain will kill you. It will either crush you or drown you. But yes, here is the shelter I was talking about. So for the next couple minutes, we're going to be taking advantage of a glitch. It's called karma caching. And so that kind of leads into the second main mechanic for this game. So if you look at the bottom left, you'll see a karma symbol. That is our karma. And pretty much this symbol is kind of the way of the game tracking how well the player is doing. If the player is doing very well, they're sheltering a lot, eating a lot of food, their karma goes up. But if you die, your karma goes down. And so in order to get to very difficult regions, you have to collect high amounts of karma. And so that's why we're doing this glitch here, because the next region we go into is very difficult and requires the highest karma. But yes, this glitch is called karma caching. It's a weird sequence of forcing yourself to starve, quitting out, and then coming back in. But yes, after we're done here, the next thing I'm going to be looking out for are scavengers. So we saw a little bit of those first on the way in, but they do tend to hang out right outside the shelter. Scavengers are very hard to deal with, mostly because they're super unpredictable. Each scavenger's kind of got its own personality, and depending on that personality depends on whether or not they're going to want to kill you or not. And so they're also not very clear all the time on which personality they have. And unfortunately for Riv, they kind of start out not liking the character. Luckily, I come equipped with this shiny rock here. And this thing, it's called a pearl, and the scavengers love them. So if I do run into any scavengers, I'll throw this rock, and they'll quickly grab it, and we'll become the best friends. But yes, I'll be making my way up to the gate now. But yes.
So a few things to kind of talk about. This game is, you can see all the inputs that Ferret has in the bottom left. We have directional inputs. We have jump, throw, and grab. And that is it for all the movement that we're going to be doing through this game. Additionally, Ferret is playing on controller, which not a lot of other players actually do play a controller. You can still do just as much as on controller as you can on keyboard, but a lot of different keyboard things can be a bit easier, especially because on keyboard you can press left and then right immediately, which is useful for certain things. Right here, we're going to be seeing some wall pounces going forward. We're going to see them start there. Got a chain of 2, got another one going up. We're going to see a lot while going into this next area. So this next area was added in the DLC that Rivulet added, that being that the DLC that Rivulet was added with, that being the gutter is part of Chimney Canopy. We're trying to go into Chimney Canopy proper because we're going up to the wall here. And we're going to go to a giant superstructure in the sky.
Yep. So pretty much this region here is Chimney Canopy. I'll be doing a lot of vertical movement, but I'll be mostly looking out for a lot of creatures. Most of these creatures are very dangerous, even these snails, because they can pop you and send you into the abyss. But yes, the main enemy I'll be looking out for are lizards and spiders and centipedes, all with their unique way of trying to hunt our character here. But yes, coming up is a glitch that I'll be taking advantage of. It lets us shoot out of the water. This dude is getting a little too close for comfort, so I'm going to ditch the squid I had, but if you want to try to explain this one iced.
All right, so we're going to see it right here in 3, 2, 1. It's bouncing up. This is called a ploink, is a massive movement. We're going to hope this guy is out of the way here for a second. Stab that guy. Yes, good. Now, essentially, Rivulet, extremely high. We're going to see a lot of really good wall pounces here, too. Ooh. Extremely high base speed, additionally really high speed in water. We can trick the game with this speed to actually have us swim out of water. Basically, if you press jump in water, you can use a bit of your air to actually get a speed boost, which is generally not a good thing because you actually get less distance overall. But with Rivulet, it's generally a good thing, but we can trick the game by pressing down at a certain time that we're actually in the water and do the boost in the water. But out of the water, because we're not slowed down by the water that we should be in, it sends us up really, really high. We could force it so we go straight up in that location. Right now we're going up Chimney. Chimney's a pretty chill place. We're still doing a lot of very particular movement with the wall pounces here. The main thing to talk about is that these wall pounces, every character can actually do them, but because of Rivulet's high base speed, you can straight up just run into a wall and do them. Additionally, because of previous high base speed again, we get really good angles on these wall pounces. The thing about the wall pounces is we need to be pressing diagonally down and jump at a particular timing. Really annoying location for the blue lizard. For creatures are specific they have specific spawn locations, like the scavengers. They just kind of exist in regions, but where they move is completely random. Each of them have different specific AI that determines where they're going to do. We're going to see really interesting movement here. It looks like nothing happened, but that actually is very hard to set up and not fly immediately off the edge, because we're tricking the game to think that we're turning, but on the pole.
Was that dude?
I love that one. We get to see spin blue lizard. Very important for the ecosystem.
He was using a
killed that
centipede as a
flying
weapon.
centipede. Yes. So, get to talk a little about what's happening. This is Rain World, after all. We get to see the rain. Now, generally, we don't see the rain in speedruns because we're too fast for that. But we are really late into the timeline, and so rain happens really often for Rivulet here, to the point where I believe this is 3.5 minutes for it to start raining right now, which is why we're actually going to have to save, simply because this is as far as we can get reasonably within that time before we can start our next section here. This next section has a lot of really interesting stuff as well, if you want to talk about that.
Yep. So this next section is Underhang. So the difficulty that I'll be facing here is 2 threats. It is the bottomless pits that are in every room, and this new enemy called the Rot. So this Rot functions as like a ginormous cell. And so pretty much what it tries to do is it uses tentacles to grab you, and it'll try to pull you into its core and absorb you. And so this enemy is very good at kind of blocking paths, and did a nice little fun wall pounce. So pretty much I'll be trying to dodge both that Rot and not trying to fall to my death. But also a new movement is about to be introduced here in a hot sec. You kind of saw it a little bit earlier with that weird string creature up there. Those are called grapple worms, these things right here. Rivulet here and all other slugcats are able to grab a hold of them and use them like a grapple hook. I can swing across here right now, and so I will be pushing this way. The Rot that I was talking about earlier is these nice little blue dudes right here. You see those dangling tentacles? If they grab me, I am dead. There's nothing that I can do. This room is particularly hard just because of the pathing. Wasn't too bad. Nice. And then on top of the Rot being mostly attached to the walls, there's also mobile versions like that one right there. Those are called Daddy Longlegs. And so Daddy Longlegs, they cannot see you, but they can hear you really well. And so what they'll do is when they think they hear a creature that they want to grab, they're going to send out a tentacle to go search. And then if they do touch you or any other creature, they'll send out more tentacles to grab you. And then they'll pull you in, and they're very hard to escape. Right now, they're not too much of a threat, but later on in the run, they can be pretty bad. Uh-oh, I let one of these protos grab me. So this might be my death, unfortunately. Sometimes you can wiggle out.
Unfortunate.
Those are scary creatures. Sometimes they do have to happen on the show.
So that's kind of how they get you. But yeah, all you ice, I'm
Two
gonna make
things
up.
to kind of... Oh, it's all good. 2 things to kind of say, as this was kind of expected. This run is very hard. If any of the blue touches you, consider yourself dead. If you fall off the edge because you pressed jump in the air to send the grapple out at bad timing and the grapple missed the train you're trying to get, you're also going to die. There's a lot of very particular things you'll be doing throughout this run that it makes it just as scary as it is, and just as impressive to try to do it as fast as you can. Of course, there's ways to do it safe, and Ferret has kind of been doing some stuff safe, but we're still trying to speedrun here. We're not trying to just show it off. We're showing off the speedrun as it is. Also, question for you, Satan. Did you expect giant blue tentacle monsters in your creature corner today?
Today? Yes, I did.
This
But
is the
in
hardest.
general, you're doing so well.
It's all
This is such a hard game. I know.
You need count of 5 as well.
I've been around it for a long time. It's brutal. You're doing a great job.
Thank you. We're gonna give this one more try. But worst comes to worst, I did prepare some safety saves just because I know this game is that brutal. Just so I can show off the rest of the run. In most cases, if you're trying to go for a good time, anytime you die, the run's dead. But yes, we're not too far behind.
It's the beauty of a marathon setting. You're going to see the whole game, regardless.
Yes. At the end of the day, we're just trying to show the run. And regardless, we are doing very good. For this, I also want to say for you, Satan, I will very much fill space and say a million words if you allow me to. But if you have anything you want to say, that is more than open to ask and comment on whatever you think. So do you have any questions on Rain World? And would chat have any questions on Rain World to kind of answer, or specific to the run as well?
That's a really good point. I don't have any questions right now, but I'm looking forward to seeing chat send some in potentially. The one thing I want to say is that we do have a really special event coming up. It's Juneteenth. Black and Flash's summer speedrunning celebration will be live on the GDQ channel from June 19th to the 22nd. Time !Juneteenth in chat for the full schedule, and visit gdq.gd/BAF to learn how you can join the Black and Flash community. So, you know, in addition to our fantastic hotfix events, we also have some incredible events from the speedrun groups that we've got here at GDQ, including Black and Flash. So I'm really, really excited for Juneteenth. I hope Chad is also really, really excited for Juneteenth. That schedule is fantastic. Go look at it.
Sounds super cool here. We'll definitely have to look out for that. I didn't realize y'all were doing an event at that time.
Yeah, we're doing that pretty frequently here. Juneteenth is a staple now. It's really awesome. It's absolutely fantastic. Going to be a bunch of days of really fantastic black speedrunners just doing what they do. It's awesome.
Yes.
Nice. Almost caught up though here.
Right. Catching up here, we're looking at the specific tentacles there. One thing I gotta talk about, not something that is the biggest deal, but it is relevant for this character and this run, is that these proto long legs, that being, you see all the blue that are part of the walls, the tentacles that are placed, we're gonna try to go around this guy, nice. The tentacles that are placed on the walls, because of an update by Watcher, that being Watcher has straight up upgraded the game from 32-bit to 64-bit, which I can't even explain the amount of things that does to how this game loads and how stuff works. It changes how the proto long legs are placed and changes how long these legs actually are. In some cases, it makes the parts easier. In some cases, it makes it much harder to get through them. And so some of the runners, especially now that we're really going through and trying to make it as optimal as we can, do have to change how they do certain locations just because certain areas are slightly more blocked off than you would normally expect. Here we are entering this giant superstructure we've been climbing up as well, if you have anything to say for it.
Yeah, so pretty much this next region is called the Rot. It is inside the living supercomputer where we're going to go get that ore I was talking about earlier. And yeah, the main threat I'll be looking out for is more of these rots. But on top of that, the environment has changed a little bit. So now it has implemented low gravity. And so this region will switch between normal gravity and low gravity, which adds an extra challenge to the speedrun because now each runner has to learn 2 different routes per room. Right now we're in a pretty good cycle, so we're going to take advantage of the normal gravity. But yes, sometimes the gravity can change in really bad spots to where you're forced to improvise. But besides that, we'll be navigating our way to the orb. When you first play this through, it's supposed to function like a huge maze. Luckily, we've already kind of plotted out exactly where we want to go, so we know the fastest route. But yes, the whole goal is to get this orb, which we'll be seeing very shortly. And yes,
right, so we're hoping for gravity to turn off. Perfect.
This room's a little tricky.
Yes.
No problem.
Okay, a little awkward time.
Oop, shot me. Oh, you know what? We can go this round and be fine. We're improvising.
Oh yeah, just slightly going around. I don't remember what this looks like though.
I always practice
New
this one just in
terrain.
case.
We all get to find out.
Oh,
It's just
we've
this
gone
way.
left. Okay, that makes
See,
sense.
just right here. Yeah, so sometimes, because of that room that I kind of took a detour in, there's like this alternate route you can take. It's about just as fast. But yes, low gravity's here, trying to slow me down just a smidge. We're gonna try to get up here. There we go.
One thing to kind of talk about while we are here is that we've essentially climbed up to the top of a giant superstructure that's been suspended up in the air, and this superstructure is actually a giant supercomputer. And this giant supercomputer uses a lot of water for water cooling, essentially. And so because of how things have gone, all of this blue stuff is essentially a cancer that is built up inside of the supercomputer, and it is requiring a lot more use of water as the timeline has gone on. So that's why Rivulet has such short cycles before it'll start raining here. Now, additionally, there's all these little blue things that are flying around, and Tactical Ferret just ate one. Those are neurons. So if you want to eat someone's brain, you can gain enlightenment. We are now we're now glowing by eating that neuron. We've now gotten to the ball. Now that we've gotten the ball, and then we're going to be carrying it back. Also, very particular movement for the back flip. Didn't get fully put it, but we'll get to see the cool. Oh, we get to see nothing. Oh, we got it. The backup. Yeah. Perfect. That was nice.
So that's the backup strat. Yeah, just in case you miss it, there's a nice little backup strat. But yes, now that we have the orb, the facility is no longer changing between low grav and normal gravity. And so what's really cool is this orb lets us use that power at our own will. So right now I have it on. Right now it's really fighting against me on the shelter. Here we go. And so whenever I turn it on, Rivulet and only Rivulet has low gravity, and you can use this to get across specific parts. It also gives you a nice swim boost here. But yeah, I'll be making my way back out through Pebbles. We'll be going back to Underhang, and then we're going to be going through one of the hardest parts of the run. But yes, also, I saw in the comments a lot of speedrunners out there in the community. Hello, I saw Shrub, I saw Moxie, Twizlet. All these are excellent runners in the community. But yes, thank you for coming out and for supporting this. Appreciate you.
While we're talking about things from chat.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
I think we both saw the same thing.
Yeah, exactly. I think we're same braining.
Go
ahead.
For you, Ferret, how long did it take for you to feel confident enough to do this speedrun? Or at least in this event or otherwise, really?
In this event? Oh, I don't know. So I've been doing this run for about like a year on and off. And only recently have I gotten pretty good. So I don't know if I'd have been comfortable until I've gotten like the record. But I'd say like 4 months is what I'd give it. But yes, even now, even as comfortable as I feel, it's still a very difficult run. But right now, we're going through the next part. So I'll go ahead and introduce. So this next part is very brutal. It is the hardest part. It's where runs go to die. And so the problem with this part is now not only are there a lot of bottomless pits, but now all those DLLs that we saw earlier, there's going to be a lot more of them, and they can show up in really bad spots. And so because of how these DLLs function, how random they can be, this place has been infamously named the DLL Casino. And so depending on where they show up can depend on whether your run ends or not. Luckily, we do have ways to deal with a lot of the DLLs, so I'm not too worried about it. But yes, I'm going to go ahead and stay quiet just for this section alone, just so I can focus. Yeah.
All right. So we'll talk about what's going to happen in a little bit, but first kind of going back to what we were talking about before. It rains a lot because it's Rivulet, and the giant AI robot is full of cancer that is taking up a lot of desire for that water. And because it's using up that water, it's getting sent up as steam and being sent down through the clouds and causing it to rain a lot. Now that we've taken out the power core, however, the rain isn't happening nearly often, and now we have 13 and a half minutes to fully do it, and we need those full 13 and a half minutes right here to get to where this ball actually needs to go. Now, Tactical Ferret has set up something very particular, a little odd location.
Yeah, so you have to kind of check up on
very good.
Just in case, because if he's in a specific spot, he'll actually like deflect you into the abyss, and it's as funny as it is, it's tragic.
So here's the part where Tactical Ferret is doing different from everyone else as well. So the ball's a two-handed item, right? And so a lot of other items are one-handed items. there is a specific glitch, like the grapple is a one-handed item, where we can trick the game into treating the two-handed item as a one-handed item. So right now we have the ball active, and we're using the low gravity while also holding a grapple and using the grapple. And so this is something we really don't see other runners actually use, because this is really hard to set up quickly and be able to use it effectively. They also use it to get past that first steady long legs that we just passed to see for the beat bad spot. This is a weird tentacle, but going fast through works just fine. Perfect. We got some big falls here. All right, very good. We got one more of those that we're gonna see in just a moment. Remember, if we hit the ground, we would get stunned, but we have arms of steel, so we can just grab that pole, and it's perfectly fine. Hoping that this second guy isn't too terrible, which they wasn't. You're doing weird stuff on me, trying to give me a heart attack. But
it's a little stressful there. A little close.
All right, that was good. Still got the grapple. We got to see this guy at the end. What's he doing? Nothing crazy. Didn't even know we were there. Didn't even get stunned. That's very good. We've been up in this giant superstructure. The superstructure is 5 pebbles. We could have gone and went to see the iterator puppet themselves, and we could talk to him. And normally we beat this guy with rocks, so he stops talking to us. But we changed the route, so we don't have to beat him with rocks anymore. Instead, we just steal his power source, so he dies, and we run away without telling him anything. But essentially what we're trying to do is if we talk to him, he's like, I'm dying. I want you to give this power source to my friend that fell into the ocean. And that's essentially what we're doing here. So now we've climbed down the leg, and we're now underneath the giant AI superstructure, and we are in this area called Memory Crypts, which is part of Shaded Citadel. So there's a lot of material that have fallen down from... And we got the ploink here. I wasn't sure we were going to fully go for it. It's really good. Didn't get the full distance we were hoping for. So this was kind of a major thing that Tactical Ferret was working on for quite a while, that being we can do ploinks but going horizontally. However, this is very hard to set up to get a good distance, and if we get stunned in a bad spot, the ball can fall out of bounds, which we can't re-get. But Tactical Ferret was able to do that just fine. Really odd activating the ball here, but I think you'll be fine.
Yep.
Maybe you want to delay.
Weirdly, the wall was fine.
We're gonna fly over. Perfect.
Yes, coming up, we're going to be seeing the orange lizards here. These are my personal favorite lizards, and the cool thing about them is they have built-in radio. So whenever one lizard sees you, they all see you, and they work together as a team. Luckily for us, when they're by themselves, they're super easy to avoid. They're kind of bad hunters, not gonna lie, just on their own, but they can as a group corner you. But now we're gonna be making our way into the Shaded Citadel here. The biggest enemy I'm going to be looking out for are spiders. So if you noticed a little bit earlier, I grabbed this weird shiny blue rock. It is a flashbang. And so these spiders here are so used to living in the dark that when they are exposed to this super bright light, it kills them. So if they ever try to cause me any problems, I just throw this thing just in case. Yes.
I should be worried if I don't go outside for long enough.
Yes.
But maybe the light.
The spiders may get you, but we'll see. So it's been odd because these guys usually aren't too much of an issue before the Watcher DLC, but I think something about it being updated to 64-bit makes them act a bit faster. So we're going to see them in this room. They're all kind of already together.
Yeah, really dispersed, actually.
And actually split up. That was pretty good.
Nice. So those two rooms there were like the biggest threat for those spiders. So now I'm pretty much in the home clear, at least for Shaded Citadel, and we're going to be making our way to the next region, Shoreline. And so this next region's relatively chill. A lot of just like swimming in water. There aren't a whole lot of major enemies. The one thing I do look out for is jetfish. They don't really try to kill you, but they do kind of annoy you by trying to drown you. Luckily, since we're the water slug cat, that's very difficult to do. But yes, we'll be approaching the gate very shortly. Also, what I just grabbed is the Karma Flower, this golden flower here. It allows us to keep our current Karma level even if we die, or if we quit out, which is why it's very important, because later in the game, we're going to go ahead and quit out to skip a cutscene. But yes, here's the gate going on over to shoreline.
So right now, we entering shoreline. We're trying to go to essentially the bottom of the ocean, not exactly the total bottom of the ocean. There's just a superstructure that's fallen just off the shoreline. We're going to go down into the middle of. And also, I'm still thinking about it. I completely forgot the plank was going to happen. It completely took me off guard that you did that. So I can't believe you about that you did that. But worked out really well. I love seeing that, especially not completely exploding because of it as well. Didn't even get stunned. But yes, here we are. We're going to be entering shoreline. We're going to be doing a lot of different setups where we're going to be turning on the ball at certain times because we want the ball on at certain times, or we're just going to be pressing jump at certain times. It's something that's going to become relevant as, although we are the aquatic slugcat, we do in fact need to breathe air. You're looking at the bottom of the screen, you're like, I don't know what these white or red circles are. The red circles appear when the threat theme would theoretically be playing. And so there's more of them when we're at more threat. We're gonna see hopefully interesting jump going up here. Made a little short, it's fine. And then it's a bunch of white circles signifying our breath when we are underwater. So we get to see them slowly become unfilled essentially, according to how much air we have, which will become relevant, especially later while we descend into the submerged superstructure. We're gonna see if our best buddy is here. He's over on the top right. There's the Aquapede. So we've had this guy be directly in our path twice during practice, which is a lot more than we've seen in a lot of other cases, which is interesting that they're like that. Centipedes are essentially giant batteries. If both heads touch you, you get zapped, but we don't need to care about them anymore. They're behind us. Right now, a lot of what Ferret is doing is more racing the clock. However, because of the speedrunners, we're not too worried about that. That being the 13 and a half minutes. Actually, if we were a little bit too slow, we could actually die the rain before we get to where this ball needs to go. Oh. Tactical Ferret's done this thousands of times. We don't need to worry about that at all. But we are thinking about one thing, and that's a potential eel lizard later. We'll worry about that when it happens.
Yeah, so pretty much that's the main threat that we'll be watching out for, is that super nomadic eel lizard. Its home is like on the complete opposite side of this region, yet it'll always make that journey to say hello to us. But yes, here is the submerged superstructure. This is the second living supercomputer. So this is where we're trying to deliver the ball to. Took a little bit of concussion there. But not a whole lot of threats to worry about. There is a bit of hard movement later on to take advantage of a shortcut. The other thing we're going to see is one new enemy. It is a ginormous jellyfish. And like, a real-life jellyfish, it will try to sting you with its tentacles. But in addition to that, it'll try to drag you to its center and it'll... Excuse you. There we go. Got stuck a little bit on that geometry.
Oh, good.
Yes, we're going to be going this way. Luckily, so this part's kind of brutal because a lot of those jetfish can swim in here and completely clog up this pipe. None of them has showed up today, so that's super nice. And here they are. Luckily, they didn't bother us. But yes, here's the ginormous jellyfish I was talking about earlier. Let's see. There he is. So you can swim through the tentacles. Unfortunately, his tentacles were in a very weird spot, so I'm going to activate the cell to get out of them. Unfortunately, when the tentacle's on me, it kind of takes over the controller, and it makes me move in weird directions. I think I'm safe, but it might have just snagged me a little bit here. Oh yes, it's fighting me.
It's getting you through a wall, just a
there we
little
go.
odd.
Let us go. We're safe.
Okay, all good. I haven't really seen a situation like that before. Usually I'll let you go at that point. But right now, we're trying to skip by most of this region. I believe this is the largest region from the Downpour DLC. We have the more recent Washer DLC. I'm not sure if there's a bigger region because of that one. But we just jumped through a unmarked pipe, skipping by a very good amount of the region, whether they left that, the developers left that there just for speedrunners to figure out, or if they just didn't want new people to attempt to do a jump that's really, really hard. I'm not sure, but you have to have the ball on and you have to do very particular movement to actually get up there, which is harder than it looks. You try that out yourself and you're like, I don't know how they did that. Another specific thing Tactical Ferret's going to do here in a moment is, again, the one-handed trick. And we're going to hold some bubbleweed, and so this bubbleweed is going to give us air underwater.
So yes, this tech here is called the pit stop. And most of the time it plays nice, but sometimes a random rock will spawn in here and clog up this technique, so I kind of have to chuck it away. But yes, I was able to grab this bubble weed, which lets us breathe underwater. And although we lose time there, we end up saving time on the back end. It saves about 5 seconds. Unfortunately, because of the rock, I'm probably going to break even, but that's totally fine. And here we're going to finish the last final swim section here to deliver this this ginormous battery we've been holding on to. The interesting thing, so we're always on the clock. If you get to this last room and the cycle has ended, then you get immediately shocked by lightning and your run is over. But luckily we have plenty of time here. We're going to be going right here to deliver. And so I'm going to go inside, we're going to activate the cell, and then we're going to quit out. So this lets us skip a ginormous cutscene, saves us about 30 seconds, and we're going to go into the last little bit of this run. This is called
And while we
Bitter
sort of
Air.
go into that, I have one quick question, because you asked me about this game before, and my brain just fizzled out, but I have a question. As a speedrunner, sometimes I play games, and I'm like, kind of thinking, are they going to be good speedruns? Do I want to do it? I wanted to ask both of you, sort of, how did you get into Rain World, and were you thinking along those lines when you first played this absolutely gorgeous and wild game?
All right, so I can start real quick. So I got into Rain World speedrunning by pure luck. About a year and a half ago, I was watching someone stream, and they actually rated Iced here. Iced was doing this specific run at the time, and I thought it looked really cool. And I was like, okay, maybe. And then Ice was like, all right, we're going to double down. And then he also rated another speedrunner who's also doing this category. Their name is Regan. They're super good at this game. And watching both of them, I went, dang, this looks incredibly fun. So I gave it my own shot. And so, yes, I think this game is 100% worth speedrunning here. But what do you think,
That's awesome.
Heist?
So I've been speedrunning this game for a very long time before both of the DLCs. At a point where there really wasn't much of we got interesting things going on. Perfect hit with the rock. You gotta hope he doesn't hit you with the explosive. I think we're all good there. All right, that was the barrel's vulture. We're gonna essentially that's the most dangerous enemy that could show up because they can be anywhere. They're constantly attacking, which is the problem. Which usually we can exploit the fact that creatures have to open their mouths first. And if we hit them, they stop attacking, but they send a bomb out. So you gotta hope you don't get hit by that if you're not already out the room. But I've been speedrunning this game for a really long time, back when we really didn't know a lot of movement, and I've been very proud to have been part of a community that has been able to push the game, just movement-wise, and the categories as far as it has been. But I've really been liking this game because as a very extensive movement system for something so basic, could basically consider Celeste movement, but I have to do a combination of inputs to do a basic slide, basically what Fair is doing here, instead of just pressing a single button for things. And that sounds hard, and it is, but once you do the basic things a few times, it's really just becomes second nature. The skill ceiling just goes on from there. It's huge stuff. Also, yes, there's the time. A little bit of delay. We see it.
Oh, I see.
We get to see Moon here.
Yes.
Fully powered up Moon.
Yeah, this was the entire Riv run. Thank you for watching. If you have not played Rain World, this game is phenomenal. Super unique. It is super difficult. If you ever do get stuck in it, I always encourage reaching out. But for those who have done this game before and you want a whole new reason to play this game, I would highly recommend speedrunning it. We have an awesome community of individuals out there who are willing to help. We have a whole bunch of new runners that have joined recently. If you want a suggestion for a run to start, I always recommend this one. If you don't want to take my word for it, another really good runner who's got several world records, his name is Shrub. This is his go-to run to suggest. He loves this run probably even more than me. But yes, I highly recommend it. And even if you don't like speedrunning, the community also does like events. Just recently we did a bingo event, and I believe we're doing another one. But yes.
Yes, setting that one up.
But also, thank you, GDQ, for letting me be on your show. This is the first time I've ever done a speedrunning event live like this. Very difficult. But yes, it was a lot of fun.
This was your first. I would have never, ever been able to tell. I'm just going to say that. You both were fantastic. What a great show.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. You did a really good job with this run, Parrot. I know you're technically 7 seconds over estimate, but
we stopped the clock a little
really,
late.
this is as good as it be.
You were definitely underestimate. Don't
Do we
worry
make
about
it under? Oh, you did it.
That's
You
perfect.
definitely
That was
That's all
the
that
goal.
matters.
When
We did it.
when I gave the estimate and you responded, I was like, maybe I should have given a little bit more time just in case, but it worked out.
Yeah. Showed off everything it needed to be, and everything really, really good. A lot of sections were really, really hard there. Also, I know Tactical Ferret and Shrub would say to recommend this run. Again, this is a really hard run. If you want a run that's not really hard, Monk Pebbles is not as hard. That is what I'm going to suggest.
It's the go-to suggested run is Monk Pebbles.
Yeah.
And have both of you sort of given all the shout outs that you want to give? This is your time.
Well, yeah, I do want to shout out to Shrub again. I did kind of mess with him because he actually despises this run, so I kind of did that as a joke. But he's been super supportive. Thank you, Iced, for also helping me commentate, especially when I needed to focus on the run. So that was super helpful. And thank you all those runners who came out to support. Appreciate it a bunch. I do thank you all a lot.
Well, thank you both so much for being here. And if you want to check out more of what these two have to offer, go check them out. And watch some more Rain World. This is an absolutely fantastic game. Thank you so much for being here. I was really happy to be able to have it on the show tonight. And we're going to be back really, really soon. Hello, everybody. We are back with your final run of Creature Corner for the night. I know it's been an absolutely fantastic night of 2D action platformers, the entire night too, including our other Wednesday night show, Out of the Box. Absolutely fantastic. We've had some wonderful, wonderful games. And coming up is a GDQ first. This is the first time we've ever had this game, Super Alloy Ranger, on the GDQ channel. And here to show it off is Joopy, doing the NG Any Percent number 2 normal category. Let's go ahead and shoot some stuff.
Hi everyone, I'm GP, also known as Cute Fangies, and welcome to Super Alloy Ranger, a game that is pretty unknown to the fact that I'm the only runner of this game. And you're gonna learn about this game, this beautiful game that apparently no one wanted to run, but it's okay. Today I have with me Lucifer9783, my beautiful partner and co-commentator.
Hello, thank you very much for having me, GP, and Satan for picking Super Alloy Ranger for today's show.
Yeah.
It's incredible. I can't wait to have y'all actually show the world this game, because I'm like, you only run this game? Why? Look at it.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of was the same time as the last time I went on to Hotfix. Yaz Rising was also its GDQ premiere, and so, you know what? Every time I'm going to come on Hotfix, it's going to be a premiere. It's going to be great. You all going to love the new games that I'm going to bring. It's going to be great. In any case, I'm going to quit this menu because this is a new game plus save. But the problem is that in front of the game doesn't have a actual lasting title music. So I'm just going to let the intro play and we're going to get started.
Yeah, with Super Alloy Ranger, we begin our run on the character select screen.
Yeah.
With the choice between Kelly and number 2. Number 2 is also known by the name Moo later in the game, so that is the name that Joopy and I will be using for.
Yeah, because we don't want to dead name Moo anymore. We believe in not dead naming. So number 2 is literally just because the game calls her number 2 the entire time. But at the end of the story, she gets called Moo. She chooses her name. That's what I'm so proud of her. I am so proud of her.
Let's go.
If you're asking, Kelly is terrible for speedrunning.
He's very slow.
Okay,
He's bad.
Moo for life.
Moo for life. Moo is the
Only Moo.
best. Yeah.
All right,
and
then.
so we're gonna do a countdown of 3, 2, 1, and I'm gonna quickly go through some menus after that. So I will let Lucifer take on everything. So 3, 2, 1, go.
We start our speedrun by quitting to titles. The tutorial, you get thrown into it immediately, but you don't need to do it. You can just quit out. And we jump straight into level 2, and that is the Deep Frozen. It is the ice. It is the ice level. I have my note in front of me. Shh. Shush. you focus on the. You focus on the game.
Oh damn! And I messed up. It's okay. I'm waiting for a cycle.
Yeah, we're waiting on this platform here. It's quite slow. I'm not sure if GP's going to be able to get this next trick.
No.
There might not be enough energy.
I'm gonna try to do the backup, which I got.
All right.
Let's go.
Oh, we got the backup. That's
Yeah.
lovely. With Mu here, we have a very melee-focused character. Kelly uses a blaster gun, but is hampered by slightly poorer mobility options as well as an ammo counter. So if you ever wanted to play a Mega Man-like game where you couldn't use the lemons all the time, this is your game.
Do you like hating lemons? It's basically the game for you.
Also, we have
doesn't give you
access to...
lemons.
No lemons.
No lemons here.
We also have access to a very useful wall jump. Basically no height lost on any wall jump. So you'll see GP rapidly shooting up the walls whenever she is needing to go vertically. And a quick drop down there to save a bit of time navigating all those platforms.
Yeah.
And
Well, I got the
here we go.
skip.
Continuing on to the third screen of this. No, not the third screen, the boss of this level. Sorry, I keep forgetting how all of the levels are laid out, but they're mostly up here. A quick little jumping into the water here to get further ahead and respawn on that center platform. And here we have our first boss, the giant submersible. It's a big submarine and it's firing cannonballs at us. It's great. We are using our normal attack combo here, and we're also interspersing these with the EX attacks, which for the normal weapon we see presently is a dash. The dash has iframes, it does very good damage, and we have defeated the submersible and picked up the ice weapon. This ice weapon is our best of the weapons to start with. It's a spear. It's got much better reach than Mu's normal attack. We also get access to the Ice EX attack, which is an icicle shot. It goes in any of the 4 D-pad directions.
As you can see, I just did it. It just goes super far. And,
It's a very...
cleans everything.
Oh, it's very useful. It goes through walls, which will come in very handy later. And we also will be using EX normal dashes to get through some enemies there, like that big vehicle. Don't need to kill that vehicle. It's a mid-boss, but it's not really obstructing the path.
Yeah, the doors have a little light that indicates if it's open or not. If it's a like a mid-level door. So I can tell that this door is open, so I just go for it. Also here I'm gonna do a little quick go through. I hope I don't get... I was gonna get damaged anyway.
That happens. Those little green guys, they're quite menacing if you're trying to do no-hit runs.
Yeah. They're pretty annoying.
Yeah. And we are moving on now to the first level's boss of the game, the giant aircraft. We will soon be finished with the sunken city, where I will very quickly describe what we're doing. GP's doing an EX dash with the normal weapon downwards, and that goes for as long as possible until you hit the ground. But you can also switch your weapon with the shoulder buttons while in the middle of an EX attack. So we change from the normal weapon back to the ice weapon, and then we still have access to all of the ice weapon's normal moves, including a very DuckTales style pogo attack with the down air normal. Here we're going to
It's
duck
okay.
into this little secret area for a bit of...
No, I got shot again. It happens.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's okay. It happens.
that
I'm
is a
being
shame.
thrown back to the start of the level, but it's a quick thing.
Yeah. We can probably
Checkpointing-
also talk about the checkpointing in this game.
Yeah.
The game is all right about checkpoints. Every new screen is a checkpoint, and some, but not all, of the yellow one-way doors with the little like frame advance symbol from your media player of choice iconography on them. Those are occasionally checkpoints. You might see a couple of semi-intentional deaths when we're at low health and have passed through one of the checkpointing ones of those doors to just get a refill.
Yeah.
Here we've got a bit more platforming and a lot more spikes than you're used to, unless you're like a Mega Man veteran. These spikes, unlike Mega Man, on normal difficulty are only a minor inconvenience. They'll still kill you pretty quick, but not instant one shot like you get
Got
in a Mega Man
hit.
game.
No.
Oh no,
okay.
we were too
It's okay,
early on
we
that
damaged-
cycle.
Just like many games I play, damage boosting is the name of the game, so we just go for it.
Yeah. Yep. We are now entering our third boss. This is the Battle Fortress. It's a gigantic tank. And we are doing what is called a EX double trigger, which GP did not manage to keep going forever, but did manage to very easily recover by switching the weapon while doing an EX attack. For example, the dash. Thank you, GP, for showing it off there.
You're welcome. I try to show visually and people can see it.
By switching weapons while doing an EX attack, you get 2 EX attacks for the cost of 1, and only the cost of the first one. So that fire weapon will use up all of Moo's stored energy, but the ice weapon only uses 2 bars. You'll see at times the number, there's a very small number next to the health bar in the top right, where as GP picks up these blue fracture orbs, she
levels go
will-
up every 25 of the number.
Yep. She will level up.
Yeah, I tend to not grab every of them because obviously some of them are very out of the way, but also some of them are like you don't really need to do a lot to get a lot of them to get a lot of damage with the EX continuous dash that I'm doing for the bosses.
Yeah. We'll typically be going for level 2 or level 3, and level intervals are every 25 fractures. You see, GP's now just hit 25 and has 4 bars of energy now, as well as an energy refill. Moo will
job
normally
didn't work.
recover. Yeah, that was a shame. Moo's energy will recover as she damages enemies or breaks furniture, crates, boxes, barrels, and even those security alarms which keep those doors locked. Here we have the giant airship. That was almost
there.
perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
Another EX
I mean,
double.
even when you don't get it perfectly, the bosses just go down. It's incredible.
Yeah. They're mostly
so
balanced
fast.
around only doing 1 EX attack at a time, not 2 or even 3.
I love speedrunning exploits. Just
Right?
get out of here.
Yeah, you gotta
We're now
imagine
onto
that
our-
basically I found that one like basically out of nowhere. I was just messing around with Moo and she just kept giving.
Yes.
Like,
Sadly, we don't have
trigger.
anything this exciting with Kelly yet. Hopefully, something spicy comes up.
Not from me, I can tell you.
Not from you, no. We also saw GP picking up a life up upgrade. So now we have a little blue segment on our health bar over top of the normal yellow ones. We now have 11 max health in normal and super difficulties. The possible maximum is 30, but we will not be doing that much. We will only be sticking to 12. Here we
Yeah.
can see the EX ice weapon being used to great effect by getting 2 of those security alarms through the wall before even entering that room. Very,
Yeah,
very
Ice Weapon
useful.
is really the linchpin of the entire run.
Absolutely.
I really like it.
We are now about to enter the. This is the third screen of this.
Yeah,
Of this level? This one's a big one.
The fortress is pretty long. There's going to be even an elevator section because every Mega Man player loves those.
Yeah. We do.
I know my Mega Man fans. You're in the chat, right?
Yeah. After
A couple of them on earlier tonight, so I'm sure.
yeah,
Sure we
Yeah.
with the Mega Man showcases in Out of the Box just earlier this evening.
Okay. So
Here's an
here-
elevator. Elevators are slow. We're just going to
Yeah.
go up the wall without
Oh.
very, very good wall jump.
No, we don't.
We
care about
also
elevators.
we also have some orbs that are going to begin menacing us in starting from this level, and even
We
a
have
cube.
orbs, we have cubes. All the shapes for everyone's joy.
Yay!
You like shapes? It's the game for you. Fortunate jump didn't reach because I was trying also to
Whoopsie.
destroy the enemy, but it's okay. So it would be nice to grab this health. As I'm gonna quickly go here.
that-
I'm not
grab
gonna
that
grab any of the
health.
fractures voluntarily because I have a. Okay, I was hitting that in practice first try. Thanks, King. But here, there's a last fracture that lets me go over to 50, which is the first time we're hitting level 3 in the run, so. But it's kind of helpful because this boss has a very small hitbox. As you
Yeah,
can see
only
here.
that middle armor segment with the purple orb there in the middle is the hitbox. You can also
that one
attack
was
the arms that are scrolling left and right, but we don't need to. With the EX double trigger, we get this taken care of very, very swiftly.
Yeah.
Who just strikes that
Skipping
little
some-
pose and it's dead.
Yeah.
We are now moving on to the 6th level, the paradox coordinate. With this game, we can choose any of the first 5 levels to go through, but we must complete those 5 to reach the 6th. And it will again repeat for the 7th through 11th levels. Here we're going to duck into this little secret area here to just continue on our merry way without bothering with that awful platforming segment with the dropping floors, which you might have seen in some of the earlier episodes. Ooh,
Yeah. Ooh. Okay.
Looking a
it's
bit,
okay. Checkpoint is just near, so.
yep, we just had a screen transition, so we get the checkpoint.
Sometimes it happens, you will like go into a spike and the spikes like eat all of your momentum and will just want to deal damage very fast. Like it's like a few frames between hits, and so you have very little time to react to. And also here I missed a cycle. It's okay. And now I'm gonna skip spikes because there is nothing in between those rows of spikes.
And also the EX normal, as well as every EX attack from Moo, has iframes. So it's really quite useful. Kelly is not so lucky. We have to do the platforming the old-fashioned way.
And then they tell me that Moo is bad. No, she's the
Right.
best.
Moo
Speaking of Moo,
is
I wanted to ask you both, what is Moo? This is such a fun element, I feel like, of this show here, Creature Corner, where we get to find out what all of the creatures are that we can show. And I feel like Moo is one of the more fun
we
ones.
totally forgot about that. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We're going to get to it.
No, you don't have to be sorry. Let's do it.
Okay. So Moo is an android that was kind of found out of nowhere in the middle of the basically the group of mercenaries, Kelly and Lambos, if I remember correctly, his name.
Rambos with an R.
Yeah, Rambos. Basically, they kind of find themselves attracted to a giant planet that seems to be pretty weird, and for some reason, our characters Moo and her sister Fulon. Again, names found post-game, but it's okay. We do not dead name here. Basically, they just hijack the ship and be like, hey, you seem to be interested in the planet. I'm interested in the planet. Would you like to be interested in the planet together? And yeah.
That's how friends are made.
Yeah. That's what
You find similar interests. Oh, that's so... Oh, I just went away from a level.
Yeah,
Here we're now going to be using the big spike, what the game calls the blasting armory. It's a lot like the ice weapon. The EX projectile does not go through walls, but it is only a single bar instead of 2 bars. So we'll get to see that use. It also does multi-hit, so we get a little bit of vertical height on every single tick of damage.
Yeah,
and we've had cube,
drops.
but what about orb?
We'll do
Any
shapes
orbs
everywhere.
in chat?
It's gonna be
Some
triangles
shape
later. I hope
lovers.
you're excited.
Oh, triangles.
Yeah.
But to finish the Moo explanations, basically Moo is a feral android girl who just happens to also have horns that look like cat ears and also a tail that is like a cat tail. You will see it more
Very
here
swishy.
because I'm going to be crouching a lot in this level. Thanks,
Yeah, very swishy.
high speed wind. And yeah, she's going to swish the tail. I hope you're excited.
Of course. I mean, that's what we're here for, right?
Yeah.
We're now on to level 7. This is the zero-dimensional capital. We see these blue particles scrolling to the right very slowly. When they pick up speed, the wind speed has increased and is going to be shoving Moo around. But if we crouch, we are immune to that impulse.
It almost feels like like an oversight to be able to do this.
Maybe? I'm not sure.
Okay, so here I'm gonna wait for the wind to subside because I'm gonna do a little skip through those rows of spikes and be done.
We love iframes.
Yeah. Don't have enough. I don't have enough anyway.
No.
No, I'm gonna have to do the long route. You can skip this bar of spikes at the top, but unfortunately we can't do it right now.
Because we do not have the energy for the EX dash with which to... So that ice projectile went through the wall into this room and damaged 2 enemies.
Yeah, the small enemies that are
Yeah, the
before
two of the little
tank.
red guys.
Here I'm going to do another
with the
skip.
goo
I'm gonna
guns.
focus. Let's go. That is so close every time.
Yeah, it's very tight. With the pogo, you get your mid-air jump back, and you get just enough height to grab the wall and do a wall jump to get up there.
Yeah.
Here, again, elevators slow. We don't care.
Yeah, I'm gonna
fast.
just wait a little moment because I don't wanna. Oh, nice! I got it perfect.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Is fast enough that I don't wanna climb out
Yeah,
and do some wall
this
jumps.
Yeah, these orbs here also do like to shoot at you when you get too close to them. So we're taking it a little bit slower. Another little EX dash there to get a little vertical height.
I'm gonna grab some health because I'm gonna be doing a quick kill, which I'm gonna require some focus time. So basically, we're gonna be fighting Number Unique, a boss that is pretty dangerous. And if you mess up the quick kill, we're gonna have to deal with 20 minutes of dodging things.
20
seconds.
seconds.
Of dodging things. It feels like 20 minutes sometimes.
Yeah, it does sometimes when you get
I know, my brain was like 20 minutes. But yeah,
I don't think I'm having it. No. Okay.
No,
too
this
bad.
isn't going to be it.
Yeah. So now we're
Sadly.
gonna have a section where she just does nothing.
Yeah, she lasers across the screen. We don't want to get hit by the red beams. It's also, the previews are mirrored from what you're going to get. Don't get caught out by that. And
Oh, she's going that way today.
oh, yeah,
She wanted me to spend more time.
she'll yeah. Number Unique is another android similar to Moo and her sister, and Number Unique's friend Lamos and Rambos, don't get those two confused.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's okay, I got the skip. So yeah, so Lamos now joins the crew by hijacking it. Wow, what a surprise.
it seems
What's
like
up
the ship
hijacking?
gets hijacked all the time.
Yeah, okay. Oh, nice, I got it. This skip is very tight if I don't get it,
Yep.
so I'm glad I got it. It's okay.
We
Dumping into the water is also good. Now that one is less good.
oh dear.
It happens.
Yeah, that's the name of the game. Sometimes is you just get
Yeah.
some.
Yeah, here I'm gonna voluntarily go into the water because it lets me skip this entire waiting section of all those
Yep.
exploding cubes.
Yep, we do
here I
not
should
want
have done this
to
before.
sit around and wait. Grabbing fractures because we
I
do
wanted
want.
the health.
Oh,
It's okay. We're out.
yeah, we want to be at a good level for the upcoming boss because with
gonna go
the
super
EX,
fast.
the EX normal and the EX fire attacks, they consume all of your stored energy, but also do progressively more damage the more energy that is consumed. So a level 1 fire will have 3 balls of flame floating around Moo.
I think 3 is the
No, it's
base
not-
one, and then
sorry.
it's 4,
Yeah.
and then 6,
No, it's
and
2,
no,
and then
2,
3, 4, 5,
4,
and 6.
Yeah, and then bigger.
Up to 6. Yeah. 1 each with each progressive level.
Yeah. Also, I'm
So
seeing
we
the Mega Man
have-
the Mega Man comparisons in chat, and I will say yes. Continue to do those. This game is Mega Man.
Yeah, this is very, very Mega Man.
Mega Man with horns that look like cat ears.
Yeah.
And
It's the
cat
best kind of
tails
cat.
on both Kelly and Moo.
Yeah, that's true. We never said it. Kelly also is a cat boy.
Excellent. Creature feature.
He's still
We are
bad.
now at. Oh yeah, yeah. He's not very fast. Not,
Sorry, Kelly.
which is a damn shame.
I'm never sorry for Kelly.
Here we have Gua Gua, a big green spider bot. Watch that health bar just melt.
Guagua has the biggest hitbox of the entire game. It's very funny. You can
It's-
just stay inside of it, and it will never like punish you or anything. Like the only thing that can deal damage to you are projectiles or like this one explosion around it. But also, you do damage so fast at level 4 that it never happens in time.
Yep. We are now moving on to our next level. This is the hyper-gravitational abyss. These levels look very similar to the first 5 levels that we've had so far. I think that is very much on purpose. These levels feel very much like remixes and sort of harder challenges that you get, but you have more kit available to get through them. That was a very clean first screen on that from GP.
Especially recently, I've been somehow messing it up, so I'm glad to have it.
Oh no.
directly.
Yeah.
It happens. This game does not take any prisoners. It will want to kill you with all of those spikes and everything.
We do have a comment from chat that the Hypergravitational Abyss sounds like a great name for a metal album.
Is it from Steve?
Yes, it is from Steve.
I freaking knew it. Oh, well, I played myself.
Fellow Creature Corner alumnus, Behemoth Steve. Shoutouts.
Shout out to everyone who loves the game with creatures.
Indeed.
But yeah.
And I really do hope people pick this game up and any of the other games we've had on the show tonight after they watch, because, you know, we got to get some more love.
Yeah.
Here we have to wait on this cycle of
big laser.
spiky metal blocks, as well as the big laser that will just straight kill you.
Well, technically, that laser doesn't deal instant kill damage until you're on super.
At least super, yeah.
Yeah. But it's still like, I think half a bar, like a half a, like 5.
Oh yeah, it'll just melt you.
Yeah, it melts your life very fast. So that's why usually we don't want to get hit by that laser. Now, one boss that is going to be a joke now is High Secret Hell.
That is Hale, Hale, not Hell.
Yeah, that's where I'm from. I would know.
With the S weapon here, the shocking armory, or the sword, as we will colloquially call it.
I call it the
EX
blade.
attack. Oh yeah, Soul Blade as well. The EX on it is just a big aura explosion, as Mu goes Super Saiyan, basically.
Yeah.
And
now the death ring.
the iframes from that are just trivial. We're back on a train. We had train earlier, and now it's time for second train.
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 We will be seeing a few sneaky shots with the ice weapon coming up. That's not one of them. That was just a normal shot.
I mean, you're so excited to talk about your little find.
Oh, I am. I was watching GP playing this. Yeah, there it is. You saw that tiny little screen shake. That was GP hitting one of the red security alarms for the upcoming door. Those security alarms.
Yeah. Lucifer find those.
I found that while GP was playing, we were in a Discord call together, and she was showing me this game, and there's a second one. I was like, hey, that one's just right on the left wall as you come into this area. Couldn't you just get it as you come in? Was my thought. And yes, it totally works.
Do you know, at the time, I didn't think that the EX ice projectile would literally go through entire screens.
GP thought that it just would go away at the edge of the screen because we've been burnt by Yars Rising.
That's a reasonable assumption, you know what? I think it's awesome that this game lets you EX projectile screen warp, though.
Yeah.
That's great stuff.
We've got some zappy floors and some zappy ceilings and some cubes. This part of the level here is just a menace.
Yeah. I could damage boost,
take
but
it slow.
I don't want to take too much damage to go to there.
We take it a little slow here just to make sure that we have health to make it through the rest of it.
Yeah, because the next part is going to be even more laser filled.
We've got a lot more lasers coming up. This level just loves its lasers.
Yeah, so I'm gonna basically break some of the enemies preemptively because I do not want to be swamped. And yes, I got hit by that laser. They keep getting everywhere.
Those lasers will get you.
Yeah. Also, I got the
EX
alarm
through the wall.
Yeah.
EX through the wall there to get that one. Saves a little bit of messing about with it later. And that's number 3 to go through the next door.
Yeah, I was baiting the cube so that I would not have to trigger it.
a EX dash downwards to get through.
I'm gonna wait because I think it's gonna be the next one. Yeah, that was correct.
And then when it hits the corner, we go up with the EX ice and break the third one for that door.
Yeah.
A little damage boost through that tank, and we're on to the boss.
Now we're gonna meet another cat girl.
Yep.
Well, she's more of a mouse girl when you think about it.
Yeah, this is Alpha. And she's in a big hamster ball.
I broke the hamster ball, but it's okay. She has a second hamster ball.
Very absolutely safe capsule coated IMO.
And then she has a third.
Third hamster ball. This one is purple.
What if it was purple? That's a reference. Anyway.
It got me. It got me.
Yeah.
And that is the
quickly
Deathbringer.
dispatched.
Yep.
Yeah, it was purple. I agree, Steve.
Was, yeah. Now on to the second to last level of the game. This is the Ultra Fortress. We had normal we had normal fortress, and now we have Ultra Fortress. I'm getting a bit giggly at this point. Can you tell? We want to grab that 5-pack there because that is very useful to us for this level. The Ultra Fortress is full of enemies and full of these crates that fall down from the ceiling and then go along these conveyor belts. If they crush you, and the hitbox is a bit wonky on it as well, you just die. One-shot kill, no matter how much health you have.
Sorry,
Yeah,
apparently the
and
game
EX.
wanted to be nice and also mean.
Nice and mean.
Like,
the EX ice there
lets me
takes
win.
care of a bunch
Terrible
of enemies in
moment.
that column. And here we have another elevator, but this one is much less kind than the slow-moving platform we had earlier. This one has electric spikes on it, so we have to go fast.
And yeah, those spikes are insta-kill no matter what. Those are not like the basic spikes that you can have.
Yeah.
Okay, I know there's a crusher here, so I'm gonna quickly go here.
Yep, very quickly do an air dash to get through that.
Yeah, I'm gonna
watch
grab
out
more fractures than usual because it's actually pretty useful against our next boss, Beta.
Yep. Yep, we had Alpha, and now we've got Beta coming
Yeah.
up very shortly.
Their partners. One is a mouse, one is a key.
Yeah.
That's a good relationship.
Very carefully going through that little crawl point there because
We don't know why you can
corners-
die on those.
the corners there are weird and it treats you as if you've been crushed. Like we said before, instant kill. Not fun. Lost quite a few playthroughs of this level to that.
Yeah. It just happens. You never know what just happens. Okay.
And also picked up the second life up for this speedrun that we will be seeing. Here we're going to be using the saw blades, using that same EX attack as we saw with Secret Hail for Beta. Beta's got lots of fiery attacks here and will mess you up really quickly.
Sorry, casually doing Beta, no damage.
Yeah, there are achievements in this game for beating bosses with various conditions. With Beta, the condition is take 0 damage. It's a tricky one, but with Moo's iframes, much easier than others. Here we have the looping space, our final level of the run. The particles are going fast when the high wind is in effect. We don't want to go into those columns,
like
otherwise
gravity, but
it functions the same as the high wind from the zero
it
dimensional.
slams you down.
Beta test fail.
I'm gonna do a funny once.
Yep, we're gonna go for the funny.
I got the funny.
Oh, you got the funny. Good job.
Yeah.
Just save one cycle of movement. Here we're going to go
Yeah.
up the wall here into this secret area, grab a few fractures, and
Oh, great.
continue on our path with a little bit of spike damage there. Not a problem, though. We can
Yeah.
recover.
Basically, what the thing I reacted to was sometimes the game is pretty silly in how it counts where Moo is standing, and sometimes you can get clipped into platforms directly, like you're just 1 pixel lower than what the actual ground is, and that means that it will not let you move for some reason. And the same can happen when you have moving platforms like those ones that I've been writing. That go upwards. Sometimes the game will think that you are 1 pixel above those.
And it won't treat you as if you're on the ground. You can't crouch, you do your air attacks instead. It's
Fascinating.
strange.
Yeah.
It's strange.
So you're forced into only one jump, and it's kind of difficult to get out of there.
Yeah.
But it's okay. It's something very quickly solved.
Here we're
You're
going
going
to
a
be
little-
using the EX dash to get through that big hexagon and
many
not
shapes.
have to worry about the cycles on it.
High Thunder Weapon.
Oh, hello.
I was on Thunder Weapon for some reason.
I mean, you probably panicked.
I double tapped, probably.
Yeah. Who knows?
Sometimes you realize you're not on the right weapon and you're in danger. I'm gonna wait for the cycle because
Yep.
I don't want to die.
I probably would have chanced it, but I am also a risk taker.
Yeah, but you're not a GDQ Hotfix. I mean, right now you are a GDQ Hotfix.
You're right.
It's okay.
We are now at level 3 with 50 fractures. We'll be getting a few more before our upcoming boss fight against the final boss of this game.
Yeah.
But first, we need to fight a few mid-bosses. We have a cube, but it's double size. It's gone now.
You can say bye to the cube.
Bye,
It truly
cube.
was a mid boss.
And now we have 2 tanks, but they're huge.
It's big tank time.
Yep.
Shoutouts to SM MIDI and the Wii Tanks fans.
Yeah, with
But
the
yeah, those big tanks have like a little like weak spot where they just cannot hit you.
yeah, just being right up in front of them, they will fold like a house of cards.
For the
We're
person
now
who's
on-
asking about damageless runs of this game, funny fact: you technically are to get 100% in this game. You need to do it.
But here we
anyway,
have
Code
our
Zero.
final boss, Code Zero. She's very tanky, and we mentioned triangles earlier. Who's in the mood for some Doritos?
Big Doritos, then goes into
Big.
medium-sized Doritos, and then go into smaller-sized Doritos. Also, there is green Doritos. Do not eat those; they're not good for your health. But in any case,
No.
with all of this, that's time.
GG!
Yeah.
Oh my
Well
goodness.
done, Jupi. We should maybe talk about how this game is timed. Normally,
the-
speedruns. The in-game time is very accurate for this game. We have a few
Access to
seconds
that.
of divergence
going-
because of that quit to title right at the beginning to skip the tutorial.
Yeah.
We'll just skip these cutscenes here and the credits, which is something you should very, very certainly pay attention to when you play through this game yourself.
Yeah.
And-
But yeah, 38, 37, that's pretty good. Like literally this is 15 seconds behind my PB right now. So yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
It's pretty
well
good.
done. Well done, GP.
Excellent.
Yeah. God. It does a lot on your hands. This run is
Oh, yeah.
fun, but I will say it's very high execution if you're interested. But yeah.
I have messed up my thumb more than once playing this game.
yeah. And she was not speedrunning. That was the
No,
that's the
I was just
incredible
playing
part.
casually.
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
yeah.
GP, is there anything you would like to share with our wonderful viewers?
Play this game. It's good. But outside of that, I'm GP, also known as CuteFangies. You can find me at twitch.tv/CuteFangies. I do a lot of weird games. Like I said, every time I come on to Hotfix, I have a weird game, a new game to show everyone. And I think that next week there might be a new game as well. Not saying anything, but
more new
I hope you're
games.
excited. Yeah, but otherwise, I'm going to continue running this game because this game has been picked for Preventathon 5, so it's going to be great. It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
And so I will totally continue to run this game. In general, I want to thank Lucifer for always being great and always being here for doing commentary for me. You are always the best. Thank you, Satan,
so
and
much.
everyone at the Hotfix crew for having us. It's always a pleasure to be here. And big thanks to everyone who keeps popping up in my chat. I love you, and you are the best, Larry Gang.
Yeah, shout outs to Larry Gang.
Yeah.
And Lucifer, where can people find you if they want to see what you do?
You can find me at twitch.tv/Lucifer9783. You can also find my card at lucifer9783.card.co, where you can find links to my socials, my YouTube, and as well as my streaming schedule. I think that's it. Thank you so much again, Satan and GP, for showing us this wonderful run of Super Aloe Ranger.
Well, thank you. It was my pleasure to have you both on the GDQ Hotfix channel.
Yeah.
Show, Creature Corner, all that stuff. It was super, super fun. Really great run. And that's going to do it for Creature Corner tonight. Absolutely fantastic show, full of 2D platformers. And if you missed out on Out of the Box or Creature Corner, you should stay tuned as we replay both shows after this. And tune in tomorrow for As Seen on TV and Passion Project starting at 7 p.m. Eastern. Have a good night, everybody.